Don, exciting stuff here.
It's going to be a great match. Harimoto will certainly be fired up, that's for sure.
We had a conversation last night at dinner briefly about winning the first point and showing just as hard as if it were, say, match points. You have to wonder, did someone say, get fired up, get in the opponent's head? Look at this, backhand to backhand with Zhendong. Nobody picks this fight, Don.
The interesting thing here, of course, is Harimoto's lost 2 games here in London, but he's lost to players who are ranked below him. Now he's got nothing to lose. He's playing the number 2 player in the world. No one really, including ourselves, expects him to win. And maybe that's the scenario he likes. Maybe he's going to raise his game. He's going to throw caution to the wind. He's clearly very dangerous. Japan are producing some incredible youngsters, both on the male and female side. The boys are team.
Sorry, that was just amazing. Look at this. Rips it down the line. Zhendong with his head below his armpit there at cross court.
That's almost a la Marlong, isn't it? Stretching, and somehow at full stretch just gets incredible power. But no, I think the Japanese are just producing some fantastic young players. And it's fascinating to see how Harimoto develops between now and the Olympic Games. It's clearly at a very high level now. Japan, of course, a rich tradition of world champions going back in time. Itos, Onos, Konos, Hasegawas, Ogiura, to name but a few.
I wish you had a few examples for me, Don. Don, a wealth of knowledge, 50 years in table tennis, national level, international level, representing England. And there's the cup again, the Team World Cup. Only one team will get to hold that high today on the podium when this is over. He tried to do the same thing back to Zhendong, bait him into stepping around and play cross-court wide. Second bounce on the serve, can't ask for much more than that. Testing Zhendong, but it's the follow-up shot that's trouble. Nice change of pace, a softer flip from Harimoto. You know, in terms of power, Zhendong is thought of as one of the most powerful players in table tennis, if not the most explosive. Harimoto is just getting bigger and stronger all the time. I think him and Yuto Muramatsu, Maharu Yoshimura, the tallest guys on the Japanese team. Then look at this! Whoa, Zhendong, that was a ballsy move to catch it. Until the umpire says let. Oh, broken ball. Wow, that was some serious swag. Look at that. When have you ever seen somebody play that many balls with their hand in the air on both sides of the table? Both sides, I should say.
At least common sense prevailed in the end. We've called a let and the ball was cracked. Of course, these plastic balls do chip. If it catches the leading edge of the racket, it tends to take a little piece out of the ball.
5-4.
Just imagine how much conversation we'd still be having right now if the umpire hadn't noticed the ball was cracked and awarded a point to Harimoto for Zhendong catching it. I mean, that is the risk that Zhendong took. Well played right into the middle, the crossover point.
It's quite interesting. I was reading up on Harimoto that his mother actually played for China in the 1995 World Championships. Member of the Chinese squad in Gothenburg.
She was telling me about it in a live video chat yesterday, actually. She played with Wang Chen, who played for the United States for some time. I think did better in the Olympic Games than any U.S. team member, any U.S. player in the history of the Olympic Games. Quarterfinals. Yeah, Harimoto's mother, father, both high-level players. His father has been coaching him since he was young. He also has a little sister who I believe is still 9 years old, who wins the national championships in Japan for her age group.
A family affair.
Indeed, a strong gene pool to be swimming in. Oh, man! Walter-like. What a casual block here. Zhendong going for broke as he turns the corner. Harimoto just leaving it on the table with a bit of side spin the other way. This is the risk you take when you put that much into a shot, all your eggs in one basket. Still a 1-point lead for Xiaopeng on the serve.
across the table, as we saw there on the replay, to return with the backhand from the forehand side. Just allows them a lot more wrist to go in the shot. We were talking about the importance of the wrist, comparing the penhold grip with the shake hand. More and more top players now turn the serve with the backhand, as we saw from Zhendong almost on cue there.
Well, that's actually, it's funny because Harimoto was interviewed and asked about that shot. He described it as his specialty, which I think is, accurate. But Fan Zhendong with the Chiquita, with the backhand receive, over the table, his backhand is probably the strongest in the world. This one seemed to get away from Harimoto. A little bit slower shot, misses the timing. Nice change of pace from Fan Zhendong. So now a 2-point lead in 2 serves. Interesting. What was the win for? At the top of the net?
9-7.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Harimoto's not sure why the let was called, but again, very professional. No one's arguing with the umpire.
There's 2 quality shots, but then when it's deeper to the backhand side, misses the contact. Strong start for Harimoto in this point. He's got Fan Zhendong behind the table, playing a little bit more passively. 3 game points now to Fan Zhendong on his second serve. Off the net now, Fan Zhendong takes the first, 11 points to 7. At 7.
And there we have confirmation, 11-7. The other thing I find interesting, Adam, we were talking about the backhand technique and coming across, returning. I mean, such a new technique that we haven't even got a name for that shot. Incredibly important part of the game now. Straight away, we're talking about it. First point, Fan Zhendong goes round and plays the Chiquita, the banana backhand return.
It's the standard now. I mean, at this level of play, there's just so much advantage on the receive to getting in aggressive. By the way, I have to ask, is Chiquita not a famous banana brand in England?
I'm not an expert on bananas. You've asked the wrong person.
Well, I got a PhD in bananas, actually. It's a very rare degree. No, Chiquita is a very, that's where it comes from. It's the Japanese clever way of saying banana. They say Chiquita.
So we're happy with banana.
Well, it's been left in the English-speaking parts of the world, but so many people like the term Chiquita that I think they're both acceptable. In the table tennis dictionary, Chiquita and banana will be synonymous and both acceptable. It's funny, Gavin Rungay said in Scotland, they call it the elephant. So that's a smaller population of the world, but still a fun, creative name that is used by some.
It'd be quite nice to hear some of the viewers comment on what we can call that shot.
The Chiquita?
The banana? The elephant?
Well, the strawberry only became sort of well-known for the receive that we saw Mila Ito do with the opposite side spin of the banana, that also Simone Gozu uses very well, in Miyu Kato of Japan. Strawberry farmer she is.
Backhand to backhand, so solid. Fan Zhendong. Harimoto's taken him on a few times and beaten him on the backhand to backhand, but
first point of the match, right?
Exactly. A brave thing to do, first point of the match, but there we see Fan Zhendong coming out on top after 3 or 4 backhands on the diagonal.
Beautiful off the bounce, just squatting to get on top of this ball. Picture perfect, Don.
Wonderful play. Just so solid, no mistakes. Here he goes any minute now. Next shot, round we go.
Funny thing is, he could have done it a shot earlier, maybe. He decided to play 2 to the middle, thinking that maybe Harimoto would try and cover that wide forehand.
There's the banana. We haven't decided 100% yet whether we're calling it that, but that wristy backhand shot from the forehand side of the table on return of serve. 20 years ago, if I was coaching, you'd be told off for doing that. You return it with your forehand, positive.
Thank you, Peter Corbell, for that.
Exactly, one of the first to do it.
Short side of the table. By the way, Don, I just want to say that there is no grammatical dress code for me in terms of banana versus Chiquita. I'm fine on the fence and on either side of it. So whatever you throw out there, it works. This is tough. This isn't the first time I've seen Harimoto step behind the table, and on the third shot, it's almost like he's not sure if he should try to add more power, be a bit more aggressive, more of a threat. Because it's that third one that's come into the net a few times now. I think one thing he can do, Harimoto, is instead of going for deeper or more aggressive shots, sometimes once he's got Zhendong behind the table a little bit, soften it up slightly. It's just tough to do because Zhendong's so explosive and quick to come back into the table.
On the diagonal from Zhendong, so wide. The angle not only had it pace, but it was so wide, almost on the sideline. Just have a look at this again.
Very clean too. He gets the thumb up behind the racket, as we see a lot of professionals do, to change the grip of their backhand, come in with more force. But very short stroke finishes right in the middle, prepared to do it again if need be.
4-9.
I look at Zhendong in that rally, I just think quads. I mean, he was at the exact opposite corner of the table. And had that shot come down, he would have been there again, leaping out to that wide forehand. Beautiful down the line.
But I think that just highlights a real top world-class player. Fantastic touch. Just look at this. Now that looks easy. Honestly, that is so difficult. The feeling, the soft hand, and then the rocket backhand.
11-4.
Well, this is quite a different game than game number one. 11-4, Zhendong. That backhand that we saw near the end of the game, when they showed it in slow motion, the trajectory.
Third game, China to serve, ball.
So here we are, game number 3. Zhendong in red. 1 game away from sealing this victory, taking the match. 14-year-old Tomokazu Harimoto.
1 love.
You know, as you mentioned, Zhendong is the expected winner, and it's much easier to say that when he's up 2-0. And while Harimoto might not win this match, the next time they play, you can imagine he's going to be getting closer. He's going to be more well-studied and prepared.
Love 2.
You know, the difference between the first time he played Shushin at the World Championships in Dusseldorf, he started strong but was sort of blown out by the end. It's not the same scenario the next time they played.
1-2.
Shushin Game 7 was ahead in Game 7, I think around 7-5 before Shushin really turned on the afterburners and left Tomokazu behind. It's a bold long serve, reverse pendulum to the baseline of the table on the backhand side. Perfectly executed in the backhand. Very clean top edge of the racket after the kick on that shot. Did a side spin here too, Don.
The last 2 or 3 points, Harimoto's been very impressive. As you say, look at that ball. Takes it out even wider to Zhendong's forehand. You can't accuse the boy of not committing himself. He's punching the air, screaming.
That is one thing I don't think anyone will ever, with any reason, accuse Harimoto of. Lack of commitment.
3-all.
You know, I'm always curious. I think it'd be interesting to do tests in terms of physical strength, reaction time, speed. What if you could just isolate these skill sets from these players? Who would win in a race? Squats, you have to imagine Zhendong would lift more.
4-3.
I really do think one of the key things in moving is actually anticipation. Just spotting the cue that fraction of a second earlier, knowing where the ball is going. Sometimes I think players make educated guesses. They go down the line and they assume the person's going to go on the diagonal and they're waiting for the ball on the diagonal. But in genuine cases where you don't know where the ball's going, I think some players can just spot it a fraction of a second first. Clearly, being quick on your feet, etc. Very, very important. Anticipation, very important as well.
This is something, you know, Timo Boll always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and that's not a coincidence. It's years and years of experience, partially speed, but if you took his speed in 2005 and put it with his knowledge now, I mean, he might be unbeatable. Oh, did you hear that? Come on, Japan. In response to all the Jaios. Definitely Chinese supporters outnumbering Japan supporters out there in the crowd.
5-all.
A rocket backhand topspin from Fan Zhendong. Here he goes. Halfway stage of the third game, 5 points apiece. Fan Zhendong just one game away from victory in this second match.
5-6.
Very close to coming down on the short side. The parallel shot's going to be tough because Fan Zhendong tends to reach it. Timeout here. Shima getting the drink ready. Conversation, Don. I tested Jill on her Japanese knowledge earlier. I want to wait till they're on screen so you can appear to be fluent. But you know, what do you think the conversation is right now with Coach Kurashima, Harimoto, even without hearing the Japanese?
Cam from the forehand side, trying to take the initiative. But wow, he's up against, you know, one of the best players, well, number 2 in the world.
6-all.
Well said. We'll see what happens as things continue to progress here in this game. First point out of the timeout, allowing the opening attack, but near the back edge of the table enough that Fan Zhendong doesn't have the clean opening. So let's see on the receive how Harimoto handles. And Chiquita's been quite strong. Beautiful point. I was impressed with Harimoto for playing it back into the backhand a few in a row. Again, he came in for the backhand over the short forehand side of the table, got back for the deep backhand, which is the one concern you have when you go in for that shot, and then he continued the rally in the counter loop exchange. Parallel shot there for the winner.
Played the 2 extreme angles there. First backhand on the diagonal, and then down the line. 7 points apiece.
A score we remember quite well from game number 1. This is where Fan Zhendong stopped the point scoring from the other side.
7-8.
With that one, he got into position. Backhand from the forehand side, just overhit it. Just see the wrist action, how that wrist is contorted.
A little bit more central on the table here to change up the angles. Beautiful point. When Fan Zhendong got that first hard shot in, I thought there's no chance. Point over, and Harimoto counters it back. Forehand there, he's on the run and places it too. Not just keeps it in play, but then turns his body sideways for the backhand to hit the winner.
That forehand down the line from Harimoto was it didn't actually win the point, but it set up the winning shot. Brilliant play.
He's already given up. He's got to be 5 years old. He said, I will never be able to do what I just saw. That is mind-blowing power, and Harimoto hangs in here for so many shots. Fan Zhendong finally finding the edge of the racket on the other side. Highlights. Hashtag highlights.
Match point for Fan Zhendong. And that's so frustrating for Harimoto. Played the point of the tournament, possibly. But he's still facing 2 match points. It's tough out there.
It's a competitive table tennis world, we saw the same thing for Mima Ito and Ding Ding earlier today. Harimoto here with the serves. There it is, impressive play. He gets the shot from down the line. Zhendong stepping it up, showing and proving he is not to be messed with, not to be told.